Okay, so welcome to the tabletop review of the third reel in the 6-way $99 reel shootout, and that is the 1-3 Origin C. And this is made by, of course, 13 Fishing. Now it's the only white reel, well, all white reel in the test, and it feels really nice to palm, and it's pretty small, smaller than I expected, but it's not quite as small as the LEWS. And here it is up against the CURADO 70, which I consider the benchmark for small reels. If I can get that to focus, as you can see that it is slightly bigger. There we go. It does look a little bit wider than the CURADO 70. But overall, it's a small reel, nice to palm. It's got a nice flat side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over the features that are listed by 13 Fishing, and then I'm gonna get the measurements. Okay, the first thing to notice is that this has got an aluminum frame with graphite side plates. It's got what they call the arrowhead line guide, which you can see there. It's a little bit bigger than the conventional line guide. I guess it's in the shape of an arrowhead. I guess it's supposed to allow, you know, a freer flow of the line through the line guide. There's the shape right there. Now inside, they have what they call Hamai cut gearing. Now, I looked up what Hamai is, and apparently it's a Japanese company that makes ultra precision cutting machines. So apparently the gears were cut with Hamai machinery, and the Japanese are known for their precision. And it's got a total of 6 + 1 bearings, so that's 6 ball bearings and 1 roller bearing for a total of 7. But the spool bearings are what 13 Fishing call Japanese high spin. So I don't know if that's a higher ABEC rating or not, but yeah, we'll see how it casts when we get out on the field. Now, 13 Fishing claims this has a whopping 18 pounds of drag that they achieve by using multiple drag discs, probably steel and carbon or some other material, to get that 18 pounds. Now, you can see that they have the company logo on the knobs here. If that'll focus. Well, I'm sure you guys can see that. They also have it on the spool. Now the spool, coincidentally, does not have any kind of porting. And one cool feature they have is this little black section here. It's actually made of plastic, and they call it the Keep R Hook Keeper. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if you ever watch any Japanese fishing shows. A lot of times they'll hook their lures right on the top of the frame, and I'm always thinking, wow, you're gonna scratch your reel. I guess they don't care, but 13 Fishing kind of solve that issue here with this little plastic piece to keep your hooks. Now, one cool thing about this is apparently this reel is fully trick shop compatible. So you can, you know, mix and match colors of different handles and accents and whatnot. I've never really looked into it, but if you're into that kind of stuff, all their stuff is available on Tackle Warehouse if you want to check that out. Now the handle itself, of course, is bent or swept, which is becoming the norm these days, and it is 90 millimeter. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pull out the measuring devices and see what this weighs, and of course as well as the spool. Okay, so now that we have the recording instruments out, we're going to get some weights and measurements. Now strangely enough, the 13 Fishing website doesn't have a weight listed for this reel, and neither does Tackle Warehouse, so I guess we're going to find out. Oh, that's grams. Let me switch this to ounces. Okay, it says 7.425, which is about average, I'd say. It's not quite as light as the LEWS, but it is about the same as the FUEGO CT. Now we're going to pop the spool out and get a weight on the spool. To get the spool out, you just pop this open, and here are the brakes. Now, the Origin C has what I refer to as the Banax style centrifugal brakes. You'll see this on any kind of reel that has centrifugal brakes made by the Banax factory. And it has a total of, let's see, it goes from 0 all the way to 6. So I guess 0 means no brakes on, and then 0, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total settings. So I guess it has 7 brake shoes that fly out and rub on the brass ring here. Unfortunately, it does not have an external adjustment. So let's see what this spool weighs. Now it does have the long spool shaft. As you can see, it does have a bearing for support. Okay, so the spool weighs in at 18.1 grams. So the rotational mass without line is probably going to be about around 17 grams because of the bearing. Oops, I forgot we have to measure the diameter. Now it looks to be a 34 millimeter, which is probably going to be standard, but we are going to find out. Yep, 34 millimeter on the dot, more or less. This spool is pretty deep, so it looks like it's going to hold a lot of line, which I don't know how it's going to handle the light lures, but there's one way to find out. Okay, so now that we got the measurements, I'm going to go over some things that I noticed but were not listed as features on the website. Now, the first thing I want to show you guys is the cast control. Of course, it's got that logo, but it's got these flat beveled sides. That make it easy to grab onto and turn, and turning the cast controller spool tension is very smooth. Feels pretty refined. And the knobs, despite not being asymmetrically contoured like Shimano's, they are ergonomic and they are very, very comfortable. I love the size of these knobs, and they feel really good in hand turning the dial. Now the thumb bar, it's got a nice feel to it, very nice feel. Just a positive click. I can tell you now it feels better than the FUEGO CT thumb bar. So the Hamai cut gearing, along with the, I guess the Japanese high spin bearings, make this retrieve so far super smooth. It's smoother than the LEWS, smoother than the DAIWA FUEGO. It's got a silky smoothness that reminds me of a SHIMANO retrieve. So I'm very impressed with that, especially at the $99 price point where you really wouldn't expect a lot of smoothness and refinement in these reels. So yeah, there we go, the tabletop hands-on review of the 1.3 Origin C. So far I like it, but we're gonna have to see how it casts. So stay tuned for that.